Hi all at FIA, this is Nick Blackwell, student 150149094, and I'm here with Matt today to do a client pre-exercise screening and both a passive and active appraisal. How are we doing today?
Excellent.
Perfect. So just to start off this session, I'd like to get you to sign this informed consent, which essentially states, feel free to read through it, but essentially states that you consent to all the proceedings of today's screening and the following concurrent gym sessions.
Yep.
Perfect, thank you very much for that. So we'll start off today's session by going through this pre-exercise screening. It's a standardized tool used throughout the exercise industry. And yeah, will give us a broad idea of your current fitness and lifestyle habits, as well as what you would like going forward, which allows us to tailor a plan to you in the gym session to help us achieve those desired goals that we've set in place. So if you'd like to read through this by yourself and work through it, that's perfectly fine. Otherwise, I can read them out to you, or dictate them to you and you can answer.
Either or is fine.
If you're happy to read through, I think that'll be our quickest option.
Yep.
Perfect.
From here.
Yep. Absolutely fine. It's amazing.
Super sweet.
Love it. Here, I'll just collect those for you.
That's it.
Yep, that's not a problem. Just leave it if it doesn't apply to you.
Not relevant.
Perfect.
No idea what my height is.
That's alright, we'll cover it in just a minute, that's not a problem. These ones here you don't have to worry about. Again, I should have mentioned that these stages are optional, but these ones we'll cover later.
Yeah.
Not a problem. Here, I'll take that from you.
And this one.
Yep. So you have that page after this one.
Cool.
Perfect. So I'll just have a quick look there. We've reached the goal session of our planning. And so I've noticed here that you are wanting to increase muscle mass as well as your strength and cardiovascular fitness. We will do some testing today, and I think that will be one of the best, judgment points going forward. So for your strength, I feel, a reasonable goal for many clients, if we want to look at a short-term goal, which is 8 to 12 weeks, is we could have a 5 to 10% increase in our muscular strength over that time period.
Yeah.
Does that seem acceptable to you?
That's fine. Yeah.
Perfect. If you could just annotate that, that would be great.
So what's that? 8 to 12 weeks, 5%?
I'll put that date in, but just say a 5% growth in muscular strength. Perfect. And so our medium to long term, just following on for that, is from that 12-week period to 2 to 3 months.
Yep.
And so if you wanted to, I guess, put a different goal in mind here, a great way for that to kind of correspond would be to have a look at our muscular mass, because we could start seeing some changes by that point in time. So we'll be doing some girth measurements today,
Yep.
and that'll be a great way to attest to the progression that we've made. So a lot of the time, a 1 to 5% growth in muscle mass, it does take a lot longer to see that kind of growth, but I think that is something that is completely achievable for us. Do you think that's so?
Yep.
Perfect. If you can annotate that, that would be great.
Was it 1 to 5%?
Yep. Perfect. And I guess for the sake of variety, we can focus on our cardiovascular fitness as well, as that's one of our selected things, and will give us a great all-round kind of, I guess, perception of our fitness. It's not to say that we can't, I guess, check on these 2 previous goals in the long term as well, but cardiovascular fitness is something that takes time to develop, and that long-term goal can be anywhere from 3 to 12 months.
Yep.
And so if we look for a 5 to 10% growth in that, I think that is something that is very achievable for you and most people. Perfect. And now we'll just quickly get you to look through this questionnaire, and it will help us again tailor the session a little bit more to your needs.
Yes. Yes, time. Present fitness.
There's some good sleep hours, I'll say. Yeah.
Go to sleep at 8 o'clock at night.
Oh, it's amazing. Lots of people struggle to sleep, but it's one of the talents that I have. Like, I'm the worst person to have on a car trip. Yeah, perfect. Have you got one more there? I noticed that it was is work getting in the way of eating 3 meals a day?
No, I'm just not.
Just have it. Okay, not a
I
problem.
snack at work.
Yeah, if you could just chuck one more. Is there any
2 ways?
Yep, 2 ways. That would be great.
Good question.
But the first one's always the easiest.
Less snacks at work.
Okay. Perfect. So we have one more little sheet for you. I just have to find it. It'll be on the back of this one, I'm sure. Yes. Sorry, double-sided printing, but this is our nutrition analysis. So if you could just recollect the last day, so yesterday's
meals.
that would be great.
Breakfast time, I had it at 7:30.
chopped banana.
3 bananas, let's go.
Perfect. And this is a pretty typical day for you?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it seems like you're doing pretty well. There is a lot of banana in there, as we were just mentioning. But as a kind of requirement, I must preach the healthy eating guidelines to you as they're displayed right here. So it kind of outlines what we'd like to be intaking daily. So something like 6 to 11 servings of grains, 2 to 4 servings of fruit, 3 to 5 of veg, 2 to 3 of poultry, and same for dairy, and sparingly are our sugars, our processed foods, our trans fats, etc. And I guess to encompass things, I guess as broadly as I can, it boils down to eating a variety of foods, minimum 3 meals a day, and we'll try and shoot for that without going forward with our plan. But it also, at the same time, we don't want to overeat. So while it's 3 meals a day, they are portion sizes. So maybe it's something that we can achieve at work. We can put a small portion of something into your work plan. So whether you're on a break or you've got a spare moment, you can eat something just to keep your body sustaining itself throughout the day. And for us to, I guess, plan that out is quite an easy thing to do. So it's a great kind of development to make. With me here, I have a sphygmometer that also takes heart rates. So I'll quickly be taking Matt's blood pressure and his resting heart rate to help us determine how we're going in the realm of cardiovascular, I guess, health.
Yep.
So as long as you're comfortable with that, we'll get going forward. Lovely. Do you have a preference, right or left arm?
Left probably.
Alright, not a problem. I'll just come over the other side of you to help the situation. Sorry, my left and rights are horrible here. I'll go with your right to avoid that watch. There we go. If you can slide your hand through, I'm applying the cuff so that this stethoscope and pressure regulator sits right over Matt's brachial artery, and it will help us obtain an accurate reading. The cuff sits up above the elbow joint a touch. I'll just loosen it to slide it up a little bit more. And again, I'm looking for that arterial point. If you could rotate your arm just towards me a touch, Matt. We have an artery just running along here, and that's where we want the device to sit. So I'm going to fire this machine up. It'll take a moment just to calibrate, and then I'm going to pump it up to about 200 milligrams of mercury. If you feel pain at any time, let me know, and we'll abort and start again.
Yep.
But it shouldn't be a painful process, just a slight bit of pressure. So up we go. There we go, 194 is high enough for us. And so this will calibrate on its own. It'll take a minute or two, but we'll get all the readings we need. I'll take these for you, just a minute. Lovely. So we're currently 106 over 61, which is a touch low, but it's not too much of a problem. Our ideal range is 120 over 80. So it's not too far out of the range with regards to our health, but it's, slightly on the lower side. And with a pulse of 61, you've got a really nice resting heart rate. I'll take that off you. No pain, all comfortable?
All good.
Lovely. 26/61 and a resting heart rate of 61. That's why I was getting confused. I'll just let you quickly enter your details into there. So name, date of birth, age, etc. Perfect. Right, so I'll quickly just get you to stand up here for us and we'll quickly take your height. It's alright. And I'll have this, I guess, flat implement, if you will. It shouldn't hurt too much. I'll get you to stand it back a touch. There we go. Head nice and level. And you come out at 166 centimetres.
Oh yeah, gained 1 centimetre since like the last time I was measured.
And that was some years ago, I'm going to imagine.
2017, so
yeah, we are getting on. And I'll quickly get you to step on the scales just to the other side of us. Perfect. It'll just give you a nice flat reading. You don't need to worry about that. 70 on the head by the looks of it.
excellent.
Perfect. And so with our height and weight, we get what's called a BMI or body mass index. Have you heard of this before?
Yes.
I'll just grab it for a second. Sorry, my calculator died this morning. Perfect. So our body mass index is actually calculated by dividing our weight by our height in meters squared. So if we want to look at something like that, we go 70 divided by 1.6. I'll just actually make that easier for myself there. And it gives us a range of 25.4, which is completely fine for us. So if I show you these norm values here, our body weight index, 24.9. So you're right on the borderline of normal, slightly overweight, but I can account for that in a not too distinct manner, being that you've got socks on, you have clothing on, so you could actually potentially be normal weight without that clothing.
Yep.
And so from there, we move on to our girth measurements. You're going to be comfortable with that at the moment? I will need to make one dot on your bicep.
Yep.
But that'll be all for today, really. So if you could stand up for us, that would be great. So I'm just going to ask you to pass this around your back.
Yep.
Just do it for myself. So if you could pass that around your back for me. Perfect. Take that right back. Thank you. We're going to aim for the widest part of your chest, so just over your pectoral muscles, if we can. Is that lined up right for you?
Right.
Alright, perfect. So we come out at 97 centimetres.
Yep.
I'm just going to move down to your waist now, which we gauge from our belly button. Would you be able to move that right there for me?
Yep.
Thank you. And we are at 95 centimetres. I'll just take those if you don't mind for a second before I forget. 97, 95. So now, I hope you're feeling okay, because we are going to move down to our hip region. That's going to be a culmination of 3 measurements. So if you want to pass that around yourself again, perfect. And so what we're going to aim for now is, if you could just rotate to face the wall, please. Perfect. Yep, we're going to aim for 3 measurements. So one is going to be for that widest part of the hip.
Yep.
So we're shooting for about there. It's going to be an average, so we'll try our best, which is 105, and we're going to move it a tape measure up. Take another one, which is 100 on the head, and we're going to move it a tape measure down from where we were, which is down, which is 106, which gives us an average of
103.
Yeah, 103.5. And I'll calculate your ratio in just a minute, but while I have the tape in my hands, would you be able to stand directly straight up? And I need you to put your hands by your side, just relax them and extend your fingers all the way out. Perfect. So that's just going to rest against your thigh, and we're going to take that point there if you don't mind.
Yep.
I'm just going to get you to hold your shorts up just that little bit, because that gives us a biometric reference point. If you can hold your fingers down, thank you. So it's just going to come up inside here. There we go. And we're at 53 centimetres. And we have one more measurement left, which is our arm. I saved the best till last.
Yes.
So I'm going to need you just to roll your sleeve up a touch, because I need to take a measurement from between these two crosses at your arm and elbow. So if you drop your elbow down and hold it at 90 degrees, I'll be able to take that measurement. Fraying of the tape. Here we go. So that is 32, so I need 16. And for us, this is a nice little marker that we can refer to again and again and again.
Yep.
So that we accurately take your arm. The bicep isn't necessarily a unilaterally, I guess, or bilaterally synonymous muscle or symmetrical. So we have 33 centimetres there. We can come back to the waist hip ratio if you like. We'll get straight into our active testing if that works for you.
Yep.
Perfect. So I'm just going to get the timer up here on my laptop. And so our first test is going to be a step test.
Yep.
And so what's going to happen is we're going to step up, down, down, up, down, down.
Yep.
At a cadence 96 BPM for 3 minutes.
Yes.
When that ends, I'm going to ask you to take a seat on the chair that I'm just going to have over here, and I'm going to immediately utilise the sphygmometer to take your heart rate again, and that'll give us a norm value.
Yep.
From there, we're going to go into a push-up test. It's just a max rep test. We can go from our knees or our feet, whichever is more comfortable for you.
Yep.
And last but not least, we'll do a sit and reach test on this box again here.
Yep.
So when you're ready,
Metronome.
yep, I'll be able to suss that out for you, no problem.
Yeah. So whenever you do 5 steps on that.
Yep, so it's going to be, I'll play it for you just to show you what it sounds like. So it's nice and clear, so yep. If you're comfortable with that, if you're ready to step up to the box, I'll fire away. In 3, 2, 1, go. Perfect. And I know 3 minutes will sound a little bit tiresome of this, but you're up to 10 seconds.
Yes. Out of 3 minutes, excellent.
Yes, it's exactly right.
It's good enough. We'll get my knees.
Yeah, it gives us an indication on what's called your VO2 max. It relates to your oxygen uptake, so the ability of your blood to take the oxygen from your lungs and transport it around your body, because that's what helps fuel your muscles.
Like, it wasn't safe. Yeah, I think I tried the machine once.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it wasn't fun.
No?
Like, you have to doing this treadmill thing.
yes, a treadmill-based VO2 max test can be quite demanding.
Yes.
I mean, by comparison, you're a minute of the way through this, and I'm assuming you're feeling a bit better than you did on the treadmill.
I had a little bit.
And though the treadmill test is a bit more accurate than this, but I can't necessarily set up a treadmill and the Douglas bag in my own room. And you are halfway through right about now. Perfect. We'll see how you go, but the way you're looking right now, your heart rate won't be too far elevated. You seem to be quite fit.
It says 98 on my watch, so
That's not bad at all. I know some people with that as their resting heart rate. Perfect, we're 2/3 of the way through.
one more, wouldn't it?
Yep. You just mentioned that your heart rate, your watch is telling you your heart rate?
A little bit.
Perfect. Well, I won't actually have to use the sphygmometer. We'll just take your heart rate straight off your watch because that'll be quite accurate enough.
Should have checked it when we did the baseline test though.
It's alright. The sphygmometer will give us a nice accurate reading, so I'm sure the two coincide quite well.
Yeah.
You have 20 seconds left.
What was it?
The most arduous test I'm sure you've done.
Yeah.
15.
Second to the big test.
High school? Yeah. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1. Well done. If you wouldn't mind sitting down, and we'll have a quick look at your watch there. 99, 98, 97. So 99 was our highest reading right there, and that works for us, no problem whatsoever. So just make a quick note right there. And if you're ready to move on to the strength testing, or would you like a couple minutes break?
No, I can do it.
You want to do it right now? Or we can actually, I think the better idea would just to be do our sit and reach test first, give you a chance to cool down, so to speak. So, perfect. Perfect. Your feet fit right under. So we have a 3 centimeter recess right there.
Yep.
And so what I want you to do is we're going to give you 3 attempts at reaching forward. And you've got to hold that for 3 seconds. So when you're ready, you reach forward. I'll start counting. And where you finish that 3 seconds is where we'll take the measurement.
Yeah.
So when you're ready, go. 3, 2, 1, back. So you had a -2 there, plus the 3 centimeters is a -5. When you're ready to go again. Oh, very good. Here we go. And back. That was a 0, so we're improving already. When you're ready, go again. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. That was a +2.
Excellent.
So we actually have ourselves a average there of 0.
Beautiful.
Well, -3, I'm sorry, with the recess. And I have a set of norms values here, which we'll come back to in just a minute. But if you're ready to do the strength testing, we'll proceed that way.
Yeah.
Yep, we'll come out just out of sight of the camera, sadly. So I'll rotate everyone around.
Everyone gets to see.
Oh, of course. I mean, we could claim you did 99 push-ups off camera. Alright, so here, come onto the floor for a little bit more. Well, a little bit more comfort. I can understand that floor will be a bit harsh. But when you're ready, we can do push-ups from either the knees or the toes.
Yep.
You're choosing.
Yep.
But once you pick one, we need you to stay with it.
Cool. Right, knees it is.
Right. And so, just before we start, the criteria of this is that when we go from our knees, I need you to come all the way down to a 90 bend, which would be pretty much having your chest on the ground, maybe 3 or 4 centimeters up, and come all the way out to a full lockout.
Yeah.
So when you're ready, proceed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
That's it.
That's all good from us. So we got a total of 12 there from our knees. And so if you want to proceed back to the table, we can have a look at those results with regards to our norms table. It is a little bit irritating that we have it on the back of our recording sheet due to our double-sided printing. But if we want to have a look at your heart rate, which is 99, you're borderline good to excellent cardiovascular fitness, which is great to see. With our sit and reach, we recorded an average of -3, which is a little bit under with our age being between 18 and 29. So ideally you would have a plus 8.4. And so that is somewhere we can improve. And that'll actually help us in our muscular strength because we need to be strong through a range of motion. Just excuse me for a second while we check that we're recording still and that we're actually facing the right direction.
Good idea.
As I was saying, the flexibility was slightly lower than with regard to our mean values, so improving that will actually help us improve our strength as well through a range of motion. So that's all with regard to our active appraisal. One thing I did want to touch on now that we have the visuals is the low blood pressure, so 90 to 60. We're 106 to 61, so we are borderline right here. We would want to raise that a touch. And so while it's not a major concern at the moment, we will want to improve that in the future, and potentially some exercise will actually help